You sure?
Oh yeah.
That's going on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Leave me a comment and hit that notification bell. That way you can see all the awesome content that makes this 10 West Moto. I'm kidding. Is the bike okay?
Perfect.
So this is the first ride on a KTM 620, the very first. We brought it out here to Charles City Dirt Riders. Wanted to get it on a motocross track, see how it jumped, how it handled landing, getting off the lips and everything, and how you can manipulate it in the air. And we wanted to take it to the trails because it's going to be a trail bike. And we have to give a huge shout out to this guy that's on the bike right now. This is my father-in-law. He's a complete badass. He's 57 years old and he's riding the shit out of this 320 to 50 pound motorcycle. And it's just, he's keeping up with us on the motocross track. And taking it through the trails is a little different, seeing as the turn radius is just terrible on this thing. It probably takes you 400 square miles to make a complete circle on it. But if you guys can watch it, the ass end of it, it just likes to bounce around so much just because of the weight. And it's extremely hard to control. I wrecked probably 2 or 3 times out here on the motocross track, and you guys know just as well as I do, I've been out here a bunch. I know the track and the layout. So wrecking this thing on it makes it difficult. So like I said, we really wanted to get it out here to Charles City because there's such a variety of different styles of riding out here between the trails, motocross track, and this flat track, the grass track, whatever you want to call it. And we probably spent 30-45 minutes out here. A few of us rode it around. We're actually out here with our buddy Gladius John. If you guys don't know him, check his YouTube channel out. I'll leave a link in the description. And Catman Dan, he's also got a YouTube channel. He drove down here probably 5 or 6 hours from Pennsylvania to ride with us today. So we got it out here to the grass track. There's a couple little jumps here, little like hill things like this guy right here. And it felt great coming off of it. The front end felt really light. I was able to lift it up a decent amount. And going through the track, it felt manageable for the weight and the power that it's got. It's a 620. I mean, the thing's got a ton of power. And really all we did to it was put the forks back on it in the front end. We didn't adjust anything. It's still got lowering linkage arms in the back for street, which we have to convert back to off-road, which we'll have to put the longer linkage arms in it. But we really just wanted to get it together, get it out here, ride it, and have some fun with it. And that's what we're doing today. So while we were jumping it, since we don't have all the wiring completely 100% finished and fixed in place just yet, some of the terminals actually came loose from the ignition and caused the bike to cut off quite a few times during our ride today with it, but it's not a big deal. All we had to do was pop them back into place on their correct terminals, and the bike fired right up and we were able to continue. But whenever we got a decent lift on a jump and came down kind of hard, that wire would pop back off and it would die out. So it was kind of frustrating, but it's just part of the journey of rebuilding these bikes and taking them out here and just having some fun with them. We got it figured out. It's an easy fix. It only takes a couple seconds to put it back on. We'll get it all handled and squared away before the bike is actually finished, of course. But for now, we're just having a good time. If you guys have never been on this hill at Charles City Dirt Riders and you've never pulled up a 300+ pound motorcycle on it, we make it look extremely easy. It was actually pretty hard. It was everything we could all do to get this thing up this incline. And this thing, it is a ridiculous hill. Like I said, if you've never been out there, you can't really tell the angle of it and all that from the camera. Just imagine trying to drag 300 and we'll say 20 pounds of just dead weight at a 75% grade, just dragging it up with a rope while it's trying to catch every stick and leaf and twig on the way up. I bet. You don't want to fight this thing up those hills, man. Yeah, man. See the root at the top? That's what caught Josh. Josh got that thing, man. He just went whoop. A couple times I went up, and the key, I think, is to try stay on the front wheel and just let it lug up, because it even shifting back just a little bit, I can feel the front trying to come up. There's nothing to it. He can make it. He's not gonna make it. Sweet. Yeah. Not bad. So we spent some time playing around on this hill. All of us tried it. All of us made it up, I believe. It is just a good time. It's always fun to come out here and try different obstacles and kind of focus on certain ones overall instead of just riding the trails and jumping the bikes and all that stuff. It's nice to work on techniques. Yeah. Sweet. I don't know about this one. Yeah, this one's I'm gonna try and grab the front wheel and start doing that.
All right.
Yeah, I made it up the hill. Are you all right? I don't know. I'll try it. That's easy to say. Just go real fast, you'll make it. You can make, you are almost there, man. If you just keep dedicated that last 5 feet. Yeah. Uh-oh. He's got it. Almost. So after figuring out that this big old 620 didn't really like hill climbs that much, we decided we'd take it out to the motocross track, run a few laps with it. We could get a feel for it and see just what we were up against with the suspension. I know it's going to be a time-consuming, kind of a lot of trial and error thing with this bike for the suspension, especially because it is nowhere near even close to being set up for the kind of riding that we are doing. So basically we're going to figure out today, right now, how unbelievably terrible the suspension is, and I firsthand found out how terrible it was coming off of the jump right after this one up here that my father-in-law is about to go off of. I hit this and actually cleared this little section and landed right here and bounced and went over. I wasn't anticipating a bounce. I was trying to soak up as much as landing as I could. But the suspension just kind of pushed me off the bike. It went one way, I went the other. And it was just a great way to end the ride for the day. So, it happens. You know, it's kind of part of it. Shut it off. Probably wouldn't do it. I don't know if it's going back or not. That bitch is there now. Fixed it. So in one of the turns or the landings or something, the bike and the rider actually landed wrong. No fault of the bike or the rider, but it actually pulled the thread out of the clutch lever. So my father-in-law came by while we were jumping over these tires and said, "I have no clutch," and he just kept on riding. So he didn't want to stop, he didn't want to stall the bike out, which is okay, I can understand that. But he didn't have any clutch, so I figured I'd look at it, see if we can make a quick fix, which we did. It was an easy fix. 2 seconds later, he's got a clutch back, and we can keep riding this thing. Yeah, he's fine. Yeah.
How bad is it?
As far as,
like, since he's slightly injured, I don't know.
he should be fine. It's not. There's no hills or anything.
Okay.
So. So as much as I enjoy play riding and working on the technical stuff, going over tires, or taking these bikes that we're currently building and working on in technical sections and really working on them, it's nice to really just hop on the race bike on my KTM 300 XCW and just haul ass around a motocross track and work on some more personal technique things that I know I need to work on that a lot of people either don't see or they don't tell me they can see. And kind of hone in on some other skills. And that's all we're doing here. We just took a couple personal laps, decided we were gonna make sure we're still consistent with the jumps, with the takeoffs and landings, and our speed. Even though we race mainly hair scrambles, for me it's still really important to be a decent overall rider, and try and just be the best that we can actually be while we're out here in whatever terrain we're riding, whatever track we're riding, whatever trail we're riding, whatever we are trying to do on these bikes is just be the absolute best and really the smoothest. You don't have to be the fastest, but if you're smooth, then you're on to something. So if you're smooth and consistent, the speed will come. And when I actually landed this jump, I kind of had a little freak out, a little mini heart attack, because I saw this rock. If my front wheel would have hit this rock, or anybody else's in that matter, right as we're landing, you're definitely in for a very bad day, because that would have just thrown you all off. Probably would have gave you a death wobble and you would have gone over. And at some of the speeds that these guys are going, there's just really would be a rough landing for the rider and the bike. So this is the first ride of many on this KTM 620. I'm extremely excited about it. I know all you guys are as well. I can't wait to get this thing back in the garage, do some more work on it to get it even more ready to come back out here, or any of the other terrain that we are going to take this thing on. You guys will be with us like always every step of the way. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Tell everybody about these videos. Give me some advice on what you guys would do to set up the suspension on this KTM 620. And until next time, I'm 10 West Moto. I'll see you guys on the starting line. Oh, we can still ride with them.